Have you ever felt like life is slipping through your fingers, leaving you asking, what am I really here for? In the modern world, we are surrounded by endless options, constant notifications, and a pressure to achieve more, faster, and better. We chase goals that promise fulfillment, yet often, the satisfaction is fleeting. Somewhere deep inside, a question lingers. Why does life feel empty, even when everything seems possible? For thousands of years, humans had clear frameworks for meaning. Ancient civilizations looked to religion, kings, or societal traditions to define purpose. Your role was obvious. You were a farmer, a soldier, or a scholar, and your actions contributed to something greater than yourself. Life had direction, and even hardship felt meaningful because it served a higher order. But today, those frameworks have shifted. Science, reason, and secular ideas have removed the scaffolding of traditional purpose. Nietzsche famously said, "God is dead." Not literally, but symbolically. The old beliefs that gave life meaning no longer hold sway. Now, we stand in a void, free but disoriented. Some embrace this freedom and create their own meaning, while others feel lost, disconnected, and overwhelmed. But what if this uncertainty is not a curse, but an opportunity? What if the key to fulfillment lies not in discovering a preordained purpose, but in consciously crafting one moment by moment, decision by decision, action by action? In the next few minutes, we will explore 5 transformative philosophies, from the rebellion of Camus, the virtues of Stoicism, the detachment of Buddhism, the flow of Taoism, to the devotion of Bhakti Yoga, offering powerful tools to create meaning, purpose, and a life that feels deeply yours. Life is inherently chaotic, unpredictable, and often unfair. French philosopher Albert Camus calls this confrontation between our longing for meaning and the universe's indifference the absurd. We instinctively seek purpose, order, and justification for our actions, yet the universe offers none. In modern life, this absurdity is everywhere, from social media validation and career pressure to the endless noise of opinions and comparisons. Camus urges us not to surrender to despair, but to face this reality boldly. By accepting the absurd, we reclaim freedom. Freedom to act, to create, and to define meaning for ourselves. His famous metaphor, the myth of Sisyphus, shows us a man condemned to push a boulder uphill for eternity. At first glance, it appears cruel and pointless, but Camus sees Sisyphus as heroic. He embraces his task fully, finding purpose in the act itself, not a distant reward. Applied to daily life, this philosophy encourages us to focus on the journey, not the destination. Every small effort, every act of creation, every challenge we face is a chance to define our existence. Whether it's building a startup, pursuing a creative project, or nurturing relationships, meaning emerges in engagement, not outcome. The modern Sisyphus is anyone confronting life's challenges without guarantees of success, yet choosing to persist. By embracing struggle and finding fulfillment in action, we cultivate resilience, presence, and a profound sense of personal autonomy. In essence, Camus teaches that life's meaning is not something handed down or discovered. It is forged through conscious choice, defiance, and the courage to live fully in an indifferent universe. Each moment becomes an opportunity to declare, "I am free, and I will create purpose." Stoicism, practiced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, teaches that while we cannot control external events, we have absolute power over our minds, reactions, and choices. In a modern context, this philosophy is invaluable, especially in a world saturated with uncertainty, change, and competition. The Stoics emphasize 4 core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom allows us to see situations clearly, to distinguish between what truly matters and what is trivial noise. Courage gives the strength to face fear, discomfort, and failure without paralysis. Justice guides ethical action, ensuring we act with integrity even under pressure, while temperance promotes balance, self-discipline, and emotional regulation. Imagine losing a major job opportunity, failing in a business venture, or facing social rejection. These events are storms beyond our control, but Stoicism empowers us to navigate them with composure and strategy. Instead of asking, "Why me?" we ask, "How should I respond?" This mindset transforms adversity into a teacher, challenges into opportunities, and stress into clarity. Stoicism is not passive acceptance, it is active mastery of the self. By internalizing these virtues, we detach from outcomes that depend on external circumstances and anchor meaning in our character, choices, and consistent actions. In practical terms, this means approaching setbacks with calm decision-making, maintaining fairness and kindness in interpersonal interactions, and regulating impulses that distract from long-term growth. Stoicism teaches that purpose is not found in wealth, status, or fleeting successes. It is cultivated through discipline, ethical behavior, and the mastery of one's mind. In a world of constant chaos, this inner mastery becomes a stabilizing force, allowing us to live with clarity, resilience, and a sense of deep, enduring purpose. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inherent part of life, and much of it arises from attachment clinging to people, outcomes, or possessions that are impermanent. In modern life, this attachment manifests in chasing social validation, career, success, relationships, and material wealth, believing they will bring lasting fulfillment. Yet, the more we cling, the more we feel frustration, disappointment, or emptiness. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, identified this cycle as dukkha, existential dissatisfaction, and offered a path to liberation through awareness, mindfulness, and letting go. Central to this practice are the Four Noble Truths. Life contains suffering. Suffering arises from attachment. It can end. And the Eightfold Path provides a practical guide to living with clarity and balance. The Eightfold Path emphasizes wisdom, right view and intention, ethical conduct, right speech, action, livelihood, and mental discipline, right effort, mindfulness, concentration. Applied to contemporary life, these principles encourage us to release the illusion that fulfillment lies in external achievements. Instead, we cultivate inner awareness, focus on meaningful actions, and embrace impermanence as a natural rhythm of life. For example, a professional may feel incomplete despite promotions, accolades, or recognition. By practicing mindfulness, they learn to value process over outcome, presence over result, and personal growth over external validation. Letting go does not mean passivity. It's an active, conscious choice to stop resisting reality, to release unnecessary attachment, and to cultivate peace amidst life's fluctuations. Ultimately, Buddhism teaches that purpose is not something found outside, it is created within through understanding, awareness, and mindful living. Every thought, action, and intention becomes an opportunity to generate meaning, aligning life with wisdom and compassion rather than chasing fleeting rewards. Ultimately, Buddhism teaches that purpose is not something found outside, it is created within through understanding, awareness, and mindful living. Every thought, action, and intention becomes an opportunity to generate meaning, aligning life with wisdom and compassion rather than chasing fleeting rewards. Instead, aligning with life's flow allows opportunities, growth, and fulfillment to emerge naturally. Lao Tzu illustrates this through the metaphor of a river. It doesn't fight obstacles, it moves around them, adapting to circumstances while maintaining momentum. In modern life, Wu Wei can be applied to careers, creativity, and personal relationships. For instance, a professional may obsessively chase promotions or validation, investing enormous energy yet feeling stuck or frustrated. By practicing Wu Wei, they learn to shift focus from forcing results to aligning with natural strengths, passions, and circumstances. This might involve exploring projects that feel effortless, cultivating skills that come naturally, or embracing opportunities that emerge without struggle. Wu Wei emphasizes presence, adaptability, and intuitive action. It teaches that effort alone does not guarantee progress, alignment and awareness do. This philosophy encourages observation over reaction, patience over force, and trust over anxiety. It also integrates seamlessly with creativity and innovation. where flow states produce breakthroughs far more effectively than forced effort. Beyond professional life, Wu-Wei fosters emotional balance. Instead of resisting difficult situations or relationships, one learns to respond in harmony with reality, reducing stress and enhancing fulfillment. By practicing Wu-Wei consistently, individuals discover that purpose is not a distant goal or rigid plan. It is experienced through the art of living in sync with life's natural currents. Each moment becomes a space to act with clarity, ease, and impact, transforming resistance into momentum, struggle into opportunity, and daily life into a source of meaning and satisfaction. While modern philosophies often focus on self-creation and mastery, Bhakti Yoga offers a complementary perspective. Purpose is realized through devotion, love, and connection to something greater than oneself. Rooted in Indian philosophy and exemplified in the teachings of Lord Krishna, Bhakti emphasizes that fulfillment is not achieved solely through personal achievement, control, or intellect, but through heartfelt surrender and service. Krishna teaches that every action, whether work, study, or care for others, can become sacred when performed with love, devotion, and intention as an offering to the divine. This transforms even mundane tasks into acts of purpose, aligning the individual with a higher order. In contemporary terms, this might involve dedicating one's work to a meaningful cause, helping others selflessly, or engaging in creative pursuits with the intention of serving a greater good. Bhakti Yoga is inclusive and flexible. It does not require rigid rituals or dogma. Practices such as prayer, meditation, chanting, or acts of service help cultivate devotion and align the heart with purpose. A teacher inspiring students, a caregiver tending to patients, or a creator crafting meaningful content all can embody Bhakti when their actions stem from love and connection rather than ego or reward. This philosophy also addresses modern struggles with identity, self-worth, and existential anxiety, offering a path to fulfillment that transcends personal ambition. By surrendering to the divine or a higher purpose, individuals experience profound peace, direction, and meaning. Bhakti teaches that purpose is not just constructed or discovered, it is received and nurtured through devotion, love, and conscious alignment with something eternal. Life becomes a continuous practice of offering, connecting, and serving, turning ordinary existence into a deeply meaningful journey that resonates far beyond personal gain or temporary satisfaction. After exploring these 5 transformative approaches, rebelling against the absurd, mastering the inner game, letting go, flowing with life, and surrendering to the divine, a clear pattern emerges. Purpose is not something handed to us, nor is it a single, universal formula. Life's meaning is a mosaic, created through the interplay of action, awareness, adaptation, and devotion. Camus teaches us that even in an indifferent universe, the act of engagement itself creates value. Stoicism reminds us that resilience, virtue, and disciplined response form the backbone of meaningful existence. Buddhism shows that release from attachment allows clarity and inner peace to flourish. Taoism emphasizes alignment with life's currents, transforming struggle into effortless momentum, and Bhakti Yoga demonstrates that connection, love, and devotion can elevate ordinary actions into sacred purpose. Taken together, these philosophies offer a toolkit for navigating modern life's uncertainties, challenges, and distractions. They encourage us to ask not, "What is my purpose?" but rather, "How am I living, moment by moment, in alignment with truth, virtue, flow, and devotion?" Purpose becomes dynamic, a practice rather than a destination. It is cultivated through deliberate choice, mindful awareness, and the courage to act authentically in the face of chaos. Modern life often presents competing pressures: the drive for success, the pull of social validation, and the constant noise of external expectations. Yet, integrating these philosophies allows us to reclaim autonomy, shift focus from outcomes to process, and find fulfillment in both action and surrender. In practical terms, this might mean approaching work as a creative endeavor, relationships as opportunities for compassion, challenges as tests of resilience, and everyday tasks as expressions of love or service. It also means embracing uncertainty as a space of possibility rather than a source of fear. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. Life's meaning is not discovered in the world around us, it is consciously created within us. Through the choices we make, the mindset we cultivate, and the connections we nurture, each day becomes a chance to define purpose, to combine rebellion, virtue, mindfulness, flow, and devotion into a life that feels deeply authentic and profoundly fulfilling. So, the question is no longer abstract or distant. Which elements will you choose to embrace? How will you navigate your journey to craft meaning in a world without guarantees? By reflecting on these philosophies, experimenting with their practices, and integrating their wisdom into daily life, you become the architect of your existence. You transform uncertainty into opportunity, chaos into clarity, and mere survival into a life rich with purpose. In the end, purpose is not something to be found, it is something to be lived, moment by moment, action by action, with awareness, courage, and love.